A very good afternoon to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi, Edward Kijanangoma, to Lunchtime News here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 10th day of January 2023. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, the Constitutional Court has declared Article 25 of the Computer Misuse Act of 2021 null and void. According to the judge, the article does not specify how one disturbs or infringes on another's peace, silence or right to privacy. This was in a ruling read this morning at the Constitutional Court in Kampala in a response to a case that was filed by Andrew Karamaji and Robert Shaka against the Attorney General. Take a watch.
And we are here for judgment of this case that challenges Section 25 of Computer Misuse Act. This is one of the most notorious sections of the law, and it has had the grave and dire consequences of leading to the exile of at least two Ugandans so far, that is Stella Nyanzi and Andrew Karamaji, and it has threatened the liberty of hundreds more, including Robert Shaka, including Andrew Karamaji and many others who have been tried and an obnoxious and unconstitutional legal provision that I'm very happy the Constitutional Court unanimously, every member of that bench said it was unconstitutional, it was illegal, and it was ambiguous, and it had to go because it is an affront to freedom of expression as enshrined in our Constitution in Section 29 of the Constitution. It is as simple as that. It is a law that was meant to regulate the use of computers in Uganda and allegedly to stop offensive communication. But as we have said time and again, it's not an offense to be offensive. Basically criminalizes offensive communication. If you say something and I'm offended and I'm in power, I'm in government, I can get you to court and your liberty will be taken away, you'll be locked out in prison. So it was ambiguous, it was sweeping, it was broad, and that's why the Constitutional Court is saying not this law, because it's not an offense that can easily be defined. That's the biggest difficulty with the law, and that's why they are saying it's null and void. It's a law that's ambiguous. It can be used against anyone, anytime, for saying anything. All cases based on this offense have to collapse because the Constitutional Court is very clear saying stop enforcing it. So no one has the authority to enforce it. Not the police, not the courts. They have to stop enforcing this law, and they have to stop those cases, or at least portions of those cases that are relying on this section of the law.
The Committee of Monitoring and Evaluation of the Uganda People's Defence Forces, UPDF, has toured Kajansi Oxygen Plant near the National Medical Stores, which is being constructed by the UPDF Engineering Brigade, supervised by the Ministry of Health. According to the engineers, the project is at 45% completion, and they do outsource for artisans because it is a policy that they have to give jobs to people in places where they do construction works. On ground, there is an oxygen cylinder, technical stores, and an oxygen tank base.
Infrastructure development projects. This site where you are is the National Medical Stores Kajansi, and the Engineers Brigade is putting in place the following infrastructure. One, the technical store for the oxygen. The oxygen plant that is going to be producing oxygen to other national referral hospitals and regional hospitals. And then we are going to provide a fence. We are going to put a parking where the vehicles will be parking as they wait for the oxygen to be delivered to those health facilities. We're going to put a road, and all this work is supposed to take 6 months. I told you the project cost is 568 million, done in 6 months.
Now, this morning, a Turkish Airlines flight number 606 that departed Entebbe at 7:30 a.m. for Istanbul experienced a bird strike during takeoff, forcing the aircraft to go around the Ugandan airspace for more than 1 hour as a precautionary measure. The plane safely landed at Entebbe and was subjected to airworthiness tests before resuming the flight. Entebbe International Airport is on a peninsula surrounded by a fresh water mass, and that is Lake Victoria. Now, being near the equator, the area experiences 2 rain maxima, April to October. Now, these and other human activities attract both local and migratory bird species, with the latter visiting the peninsula in March and October every year. Entebbe Peninsula is a gazetted bird sanctuary and host to some of the common bird species. And that is what happened at Entebbe International Airport earlier today. Now let's move to Kabarole district, where communities in and around Chabalunji area in Fort Portal are set to benefit from a multi-million shillings early child development center that is to offer pre-primary education to a number of vulnerable children across the Diocese of Rwenzori. The initiative, that is the brainchild of a retired engineer, Charles Kateba, is expected to run under the pre-approved primary curriculum by the Ministry of Education and Sports. The Minister of State for Local Government, Victoria Usinger Soke, flanked by the Rwenzori Diocese Bishop, Right Reverend Ruben Kisembo, said the project will go a long way in supplementing government efforts in providing quality education to the communities.
The need for every church to have an early childhood development center. So he has advised that if we pick that, it would serve both the strategic interests of the church, but also it would impact the local community. So we embarked on that last year, and the ground was laid on 22nd January, and construction started in September this year. We are now standing at roofing, and starting next week we'll be closing the building and doing the finishes so that the school can be ready for commencement on 6th February.
The purpose was to bring together resources to complete the ECD. There's a school classroom, there's an office, there's a staff room. So we want to pray and ask the Christians support this project, to bring in children, but also to pay fees, because it is not free. They have to pay for fees. Encourage parents to work hard to get money, not only in this country, in this place, but elsewhere. Parents have an obligation of supporting their children's education.
This is a gift from God. I've been telling the parents that let not the classes be empty and you leave the children at home. This is the first stage in education where the children learn character building, sharing, God-fearing tendencies, play, and it builds a child on a very strong foundation. By the time the child joins the mainstream primary education, he has the basics of talking, the basics of poems, the basics of play. Although many other private institutions strain them with a lot of academic, that's wrong. The children should learn through play. There was an infant specialist called Piaget who emphasized children can learn through play, through song. So when you see sand around the pre-primary schools, don't think it's wastage of time. It's building creativity, building love for play, and building the concepts in the mind of a child. So I'm happy and I have confidence that this facility will be used maximally by all the parents to benefit our infants.
It's coming to 12 minutes after 1 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business. Stay with us.
Set transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go. Just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back.
The 37th National Resistance Movement Liberation Day is here. This will be celebrated on the 26th of January 2023 under the theme, Our tireless effort to transform Uganda is a promise we can't afford to fail. The NRM government has made a lot of achievements in the different sectors like infrastructure development, health sector, ICT, agriculture, education and sports, trade and industry, not forgetting peace and security. This year's event will be held at Kakeka Grounds, Kakumiro Town Council, Kakumiro District. Long live NRM, long live Uganda.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Don't fear. Refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800-100-066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Regulated by UCC.
Hello and welcome once again. Welcome from that short break, and you are watching UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now let's go back to that story about the bad incident at Entebbe International Airport, where this morning a Turkish Airlines flight number 606 that departed Entebbe at 7:30 a.m. for Istanbul experienced a bad strike during takeoff, forcing the aircraft to go around the Ugandan airspace for more than 1 hour as a precautionary measure. Now, Olive Rumonya Birungi is the Deputy Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. She now sheds more light on that incident.
In position to land back and prepare. So that's exactly what happened. They were able to move around for the period they did, around 1 hour and 20 minutes, and they were able to land back in Entebbe International Airport on the time that had been scheduled. What happens is that when an aircraft lands back, we have the safety measures that must be conducted. So the engineers checked the engines, did the required verifications, and later confirmed that the aircraft was in position to fly. As we speak now, the aircraft has already taken off. It took off at about 10:20 to Istanbul. All passengers are safe, and there's no incident running on. It's actually Entebbe International Airport is a bird sanctuary, meaning that actually it attracts birds throughout there. That is how Entebbe is positioned or located. However, we also have incidents or periods that, like the weather changes, especially during winter, and the birds that were in presence today are birds that were not expected in Entebbe International Airport at this moment. Especially during rain, there are birds that are not expected in there. So the birds we had, which are called the swallows, normally migrate. So when there is winter in other parts of the world, Entebbe becomes one of those that can actually be affected. So we have migrating birds, and that causes these kind of situations. However, just to reconfirm and reassure the public, we are in control. We have clear processes, we have clear systems, we have a fully fledged department, which is the Bird Hazard and Wildlife, which monitors birds throughout there. These are very highly trained people, They have different equipments that they use. They have programs in the community where they go in to visit different areas to see where there is likely to be a bad sanctuary or bad area. And they do that. The other one, we still have the bird sweeps. Those bird sweeps are mandatory and routine. Before an aircraft lands in Entebbe International Airport and before an aircraft takes off from Entebbe International Airport, the bird sweep process will have to happen. And that's the only way in which we can guarantee and secure that actually we do not have birds in the vicinity.
Olive Rumonya Birungi, who is the Deputy Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, shedding more light on the incident that happened earlier on today at Entebbe International Airport. Let's now talk business. And Uganda Tourism Board has pledged to ramp up its efforts that are geared at positioning the country as the tourism destination in Africa that provides everything that Africa has to offer. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Tourism Board, Lily Ajarova, wholesome marketing initiative makes it cost-effective for the potential tourists. Dennis Tigoa reports.
Coming from the brand refreshment to explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, in 2022, the approach of marketing Destination Uganda is to get the world to know that Uganda has diverse tourism attractions and variety, says Lilia Jarova, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Tourism Board.
No, we are the Pearl of Africa because the depth, the range and the variety of what Africa has as a continent, we have it here in this unique country called Uganda. So with that, our approach of marketing Destination Uganda is to get the world to know that we have the variety, we have the diversity. You can come for wildlife experience, you can come for cultural experience, you can come for adventure experience, hiking the Rwenzoris, Elgon Kadam, name it, marine tourism.
In 2023, the Tourism Board, a statutory organization with a mandate to promote and popularize Uganda as a top tourism destination, is pledging to put more wood in the fire. Uganda Tourism Board is laying strategies geared at positioning Uganda as a top global film location destination and business tourism.
Film producers just get to know, they just need to know that this is a country where they would get lots of film locations where they don't have to spend anything to make sets. They will just have to put their cameras there and you have these amazing backgrounds with waterfalls, the mountains, the gorges, the forest and all that. Naturally, natural setup. You don't need to spend any money. So it is another direction as well we are taking, besides promoting the experiences that people can get.
However, as the tourism-aligned public entities plan and strive to market the country, their efforts are often ruined by the lack of substantial resources allocated to the sector.
Yes, as we plan and we want to do all these things, of course, the major challenge is always the resources to invest in what we have to do, the development of the products and then the marketing as well. It's a big challenge. It's really a big challenge as a sector. We still have a challenge with the budget ceiling that is allocated to us.
Dennis Igoa and Juma Samba for UBC News.
Members of the Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Network organization have called upon government to consider more budgetary allocation to both the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Traffic Police Department to empower them more in dealing with the problem. This was during a media briefing at their head office in Nsambya, Machinje Division.
An estimated 160 people are believed to have been killed and 573 injured in only 12 days in December last year due to road accidents during the festive season. It is against this background that members of the Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Network Organization, URENO, have appealed to government to allocate more budgetary resources to both the Ministry of Transport and the Traffic Police to deal with the problem, since they have the capacity but lack adequate funding. According to URENO officials Fred Tumwine Nkuruho and Cuthbert Yusingoma, an estimated US $1.2 billion is lost annually due to these accidents, which translates to 5% of the national GDP, a trend which calls for both government and civil society intervention.
If you look at the budget for the Ministry of Works, particularly the road safety section, the funds are so little that they cannot improve the situation. We need to improve and invest in road safety so that the situation can be improved.
It's not that it's Uganda doing it, no, we are asking, globally they're asking all governments in the world to reduce the kilometers of the built up areas from 50 kilometers per hour to 30 kilometers per hour. Always the speeds are still the same. They can run at 80 kilometers per hour, which is the standard in Uganda.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Long Routes Uganda Bus Drivers Association, Hannington Kiwanuka, urged government to emulate some of the steps taken by its neighbors in Kenya and Rwanda to deal with the problem.
I told them that in Kenya, they are using a chopper. Traffic officials, they board a chopper, they patrol all the highways in that creation of fear, it will reduce road carnage. But Uganda, no fear on the highways. Everyone does what he likes on a highway.
The National Integrated Transport Master Plan 2021 to 2040 of the Ministry of Transport and Works accords transport safety and health among its priorities. Edward Kolinjuko for UBC, Zambia, Kampala.
Sports news now, and the Dodgers Academy and the Uganda Little League Baseball have exported another sports talent to the United States of America. The Academy and Uganda Little League Baseball are housed at the AVRS school in Nachirebi that has a current intake of about 100 students concurrently pursuing education and sports. Here is our sports reporter, John Bansentamu, with more on that.
Another baseball player from the Dodgers Academy and Uganda Little League Baseball in Nakirebe Mpigi district is destined for the U.S. to pursue education at the University of St. Thomas in Houston, Texas.
I started baseball in around 2013, where I didn't know anything about baseball, so it was a new sport to me. I just stopped playing, then I decided to join in and play the game as well. So when I played, it was fun and I enjoyed the game. So with time, my mom at some point refused me from playing because at some point they hit me with the ball, I think the eye, and it got somehow swollen. And she was like, you know, this is a dangerous sport, you should stop playing. And she refused me from playing, but I insisted. I kept on playing. So until some point she was like, okay, continue playing your game, but make sure you keep yourself safe.
Nicholas Alumai will pursue a bachelor's degree in engineering while making attempts to join the pro rank in the lucrative Major League Baseball.
Learning how to achieve and excel at a U.S. university will be the biggest thing. So I think the off the field adjustments are going to be the biggest for him because we know on the field he will have a lot of success.
Isaac Odong is a fellow student at University of St. Thomas, while Ben Serunkum and Male Umar will officially join the Dodgers franchise after a year on trials in the Dominican Republic.
One of the things I know about him is a guy that wants to get better at doing stuff. He's a guy that always wakes up in the morning and he wants to be better than he was yesterday.
To the Dodgers Academy and Uganda Little League Baseball, this latest addition is testimony of hard work, and they believe many others will follow the trail. The Dodgers Academy and Uganda Little League Baseball is a brainchild of Professor Richard Stanley and started as a basic school, but has now grown by leaps and bounds.
Sports gives him an opportunity to help get to partial scholarships or full scholarships in the U.S. And this is what we want. We want people in Uganda to know that there's things you can do, and sports is part of it. And unfortunately, it has not been the past history. But in the U.S., sports are important. It gives you a way of having a good time, a good life, and participating with a whole bunch of other people in things that you can enjoy.
Uganda Baseball and Softball Association President Felix Okuye applauds the Dodgers Academy and Uganda Little League Baseball and promises a better working relationship to spur success.
We are aspiring to lead baseball in Africa. Right now we are at the position of number 2, but we believe with such, this will give us more room to rise to the top and then carry Africa to the rest of the world.
And that sports story brings us to the end of this edition of UBC Lunchtime News this Tuesday, the 10th day of January 2023. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed afternoon and see you later in the evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.